Neptune screams at 2,100 kilometers per hour. The fastest, most violent winds in the entire solar system, tearing across a frozen nightmare 4 billion kilometers from the sun. For decades, we called it the ice giant, the peaceful blue marble at the edge of everything. From Earth, it appears serene, gentle, a sapphire floating in the cosmic dark. We were wrong. Neptune is not peaceful. It is a ball of frozen methane spinning so fast it bulges at the equator. It is a world where storms larger than Earth have raged for centuries, where the sky rains diamonds the size of mountains, where moons are dragged to their deaths in slow motion. This is the most violent planet in our solar system. This is Neptune. The winds alone are a nightmare. From a telescope, Neptune's atmosphere appears smooth. Pale blue bands drifting lazily around the planet. Beautiful, calm. But if you dropped into that atmosphere, the winds would flay the skin from your bones in seconds. Neptune's winds reach 2,100 kilometers per hour. That is 9 times faster than the strongest hurricane ever recorded on Earth. These are supersonic winds, moving faster than the speed of sound, creating shock waves that turn the atmosphere itself into a weapon. Here's the nightmare. We have no idea what powers them. Neptune is 4.5 billion kilometers from the Sun. At that distance, sunlight is 900 times weaker than on Earth. The planet receives almost no energy from the Sun, and yet somehow, its winds are the fastest in the solar system. Faster than Jupiter's, which is far more massive and much closer to the Sun. Faster than Saturn's. Faster than anywhere else we've ever measured. It's like finding a car in the middle of the Arctic with its engine roaring, but there's no fuel, no battery, and no driver. Scientists believe Neptune is eating itself. The core is slowly collapsing under its own gravity, releasing heat as it dies. The planet is powered by its own death. And that death scream is tearing across its surface at speeds that would vaporize steel. Neptune is an engine of violence running on self-destruction. The scars tell the story. In 1989, Voyager 2 became the first and only spacecraft to ever visit Neptune. It sent back images that changed everything we thought we knew. Stamped across the southern hemisphere like a bullet wound was a storm. The Great Dark Spot. This storm was the size of Earth. A vortex of methane and hydrogen spinning counterclockwise at 2,400 kilometers per hour. Around its edges, white cirrus clouds of frozen methane crystals formed and dissolved like torn tissue around an open wound. But here's what makes it truly terrifying. When the Hubble Space Telescope observed Neptune 5 years later, the Great Dark Spot was gone, vanished, erased. But a new one had appeared in the northern hemisphere. These aren't permanent features like Jupiter's Great Red Spot, which has been raging for over 300 years. Neptune's storms are wounds that rip open, scream for a few decades, then disappear without warning. The planet's atmosphere is in constant violent flux, tearing itself apart and reforming in patterns we cannot predict. It's a living scar that refuses to heal. And that iconic blue color? It's hiding something. Neptune gets its color from methane in the atmosphere, absorbing red light. But here's the problem. Uranus has nearly the exact same amount of methane. And yet Uranus is a pale, washed-out greenish blue, while Neptune is a deep, vivid azure. Something else is in Neptune's atmosphere. Some unknown compound, some chemical we haven't identified, is painting the planet that unnatural shade of blue. We've been studying Neptune for over 30 years. We've analyzed its light spectrum. We've run models and run simulations. And we still don't know what we're looking at. Neptune is wearing a mask we cannot remove. But the real violence happens below the clouds. Deep beneath Neptune's atmosphere, where the pressure reaches 6 million times Earth's atmosphere, something impossible is happening. At these crushing depths, methane molecules are ripped apart by the pressure. The carbon atoms are compressed so violently that they crystallize. It rains diamonds on Neptune. Not tiny diamonds, diamonds the size of your fist, the size of cars. 1,000-ton diamonds falling like hail through an ocean of liquid metallic hydrogen. They fall for thousands of kilometers, sinking through the mantle for centuries, piling up at the core in mountains of compressed carbon taller than Everest. Neptune's core is an ocean of liquid diamond, churning in the darkness. The planet is worth more than every economy on Earth combined. And it is completely, utterly worthless, because nothing that goes there can ever return. But the true horror orbits the planet, Triton. At first glance, Triton appears dead. A frozen ball of nitrogen ice, locked in a tight orbit around Neptune. The coldest object we've ever measured in the solar system at -235 degrees Celsius. Cold enough to freeze carbon dioxide solid. Cold enough to turn nitrogen into glaciers. But Triton is not dead. Triton is the only large moon in the solar system that orbits backwards. It moves in the opposite direction of Neptune's rotation. This is impossible for a moon that formed naturally with its planet. The only explanation? Triton is a kidnapped dwarf planet. Billions of years ago, Neptune's gravity reached into the Kuiper belt and ripped Triton from its orbit, dragged it screaming into captivity, and locked it into a death spiral. Every orbit, Triton gets 4 centimeters closer to Neptune. In human terms, that sounds slow. But in cosmic terms, this is an execution in fast forward. We can calculate the exact moment Triton will die. In 3.6 billion years, it will cross the Roche limit, the point of no return. And when it does, Neptune's gravity will not gently pull it apart. It will shred Triton like tissue paper. The moon's icy crust will fracture into a billion fragments. Its core will be ripped out and vaporized. And for millions of years afterward, Neptune will wear a new ring system made from the pulverized remains of a world it murdered. We are watching a crime scene in slow motion. The killer circles above, the victim bleeds in orbit, and the execution date has already been set. But Triton is not going quietly. Even as it dies, Triton is still geologically active. Cryovolcanoes erupt from its surface, shooting geysers of liquid nitrogen 8 kilometers into space. On one of the coldest objects in the solar system, something inside is still warm enough to power volcanic eruptions. Triton is frozen, dying, and furious. It has been screaming into the void for billions of years, and it will keep screaming until Neptune tears it to pieces. This is what violence looks like on a planetary scale. In 1989, we sent Voyager 2 to see Neptune up close. It was humanity's first and only visit to the edge of the solar system. The spacecraft flew within 5,000 kilometers of the planet's cloud tops, taking photos, measuring winds, discovering moons. It gave us everything we know about Neptune. Every image, every measurement, every discovery. And then we told it to leave and never come back. Voyager 2 is now beyond the edge of the solar system, drifting through interstellar space at 55,000 kilometers per hour. It has left the sun's protective bubble. It is alone in the space between stars, carrying a golden record with sounds and images from Earth. Neptune was its last planetary stop, the final glimpse of home before eternal exile. It will drift through the galaxy for billions of years, long after Earth is gone, long after the sun has died, long after Neptune itself has faded into the cosmic dark. We built it, we sent it into the void, and we will never see it again. That is the price of knowledge. Neptune feels eternal, a frozen sentinel at the edge of the solar system, spinning in the darkness 4.5 billion kilometers from the sun. A storm that has been raging since before Earth had oceans. But it is not eternal. Its core is collapsing. Its internal heat is fading. Its moons are dying. The great dark spots will eventually stop forming. The supersonic winds will slow. The diamond rain will cease. And one day, billions of years from now, Neptune will go quiet. The most violent planet in the solar system will fall silent, and no one will be there to hear it. Neptune, that peaceful blue dot at the edge of everything. That serene marble in the darkness, but you know what it really is now. A planet tearing itself apart at 2,100 kilometers per hour. A world where it rains diamonds through an ocean of liquid metal. A cosmic executioner slowly destroying its own moon. A frozen engine of violence powered by its own collapse. Neptune doesn't care that we're watching. It doesn't notice our telescopes or our spacecraft. It has been screaming in the dark for 4.5 billion years. We're just too far away to hear it. Neptune is not the ice giant. It is not the peaceful blue marble. It is the most violent planet in our solar system. And it's just getting started.